right, shout out to the fam, man. Welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. Shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all being in this live, man. The little news to talk about as far as the transaction wire is concerned, reported by Yard Barker. Saints had 8 players in for workouts, including punter Jake Camarda. So this is some of the players right here, according to the transaction wire, that the Saints listed in workouts. And we knew the Saints did release Josh Ball, the big offensive tackle, who was backing up our young guys on the line. And this is some of the people we knew that the Saints ultimately was going to bring in for some workouts. So several players: linebacker Jared Bartlett, punter Jake Camarda, defensive back Luke Gunderson, punter Kai Kroeger, offensive tackles Ricky Lee and Jalen McKenzie, defensive back Jonathan Mendoza, and linebacker Keenan Pili or Pili. This is a few of the names that's listed on the list. And just to kind of get you familiar with some of the people that the Saints were looking at, man, let's kind of go over like a little boil down of who these people are. Jared Bartlett is the first one on the list. A little breakdown on some of them. He played college football at West Virginia and Cincinnati, has 2 multi-sack games in his career, was the 2023 Iron Mountaineer Award winner, named second team All Big 12 in 2023. He totaled 34 solo tackles and 7.5 sacks in 2024 at Cincinnati. Signed with the Jets as an undrafted player in 2025. Punter Jake Camarda, first team All SEC pick back in 21. He was third team All American in 2020 in Georgia, drafted in the 4th round, 133rd overall by the Buccaneers in 2022's draft. He signed a 4-year deal with the Bucs, over $4 million, and he was released by the Buccaneers last year and later signed a future contract with the Bills. He appeared in 4 games last year for the Bucs, punting 13 times for over 45 average there. His career stats include 169 punts for over 8,000 yards, almost a 49.1 yard average, has a career long 74 and 53 punts placed inside the 20-yard line, was named the NFC Special Teams Player of the Week twice and the NFC Special Teams Player of the Month once, right? Good player. Defensive back Luke Gunderson played college football at Northern State University, invited to the rookie camp by the Packers and the Colts. He was named second team All NSIC after his senior year. And in his senior year, he recorded 52 tackles, 5 for a loss, a sack, and 2 picks. And over his college career, he played 37 games, made over 130 plus tackles, 14.5 tackles for a loss, 4.5 sacks, and 3 picks. Kai Kroeger, another punter, played college football at the University of South Carolina, known for his ability to execute fake punts, throwing 3 career touchdown passes as well. That's a nice little additive. Averaged over 46 yards per punt in 2022, leading the SEC. He named first team All SEC and first team All American by ESPN and The Athletic back in 2022. He set South Carolina program record for most appearances with 61. Kai Kroeger. All right, the offensive tackles to talk about. Played college football at UAB as Mr. Ricky Lee. He signed with the Panthers as an undrafted free agent back in 23, one of only 2 undrafted rookies to make the Panthers' initial roster in 2023, appeared in 6 games in 2024, playing exclusively on special teams. Offensive tackle Jalen McKenzie played college football at USC, undrafted free agent who was signed by the Titans in 2022, 6'5", 310-pound offensive tackle. And of course, 2 more. Defensive back Jonathan Mendoza played college football at Yale and Louisville. He was named honorable mention All Ivy League selection back in 22. He helped the Bulldogs lead the Ivy League in rushing and total offense, right? And of course, the final player is Keenan Pili or Pili, played college football at BYU in Tennessee, 2-time captain at BYU in 21 and 22. In 22, he finished second on the team with 62 tackles, 5 tackles for a loss, a sack, forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. Named defensive MVP of the Boca Raton Bowl in 2020 and earned his degree from BYU in exercise science. So very interesting mix of players that the Saints are bringing in for a look-see. Now, of course, what is the thing the Saints are looking at? What's interesting is that the Saints had 2 punters, very good punters, Jake Camarda, with this mixture. Of course, we know Burnup is obviously in the punting competition with Matt Hayball. So they're bringing in a potentially, and nobody's been signed. They're just trying these guys out. But it's very interesting to me. The New Orleans Saints are ultimately looking at punters. They, we know about the offensive tackles. We knew that was an issue, but to try out 2 punters is very interesting. Could Camarda end up being a guy that challenges James Burnham and Matt Hayball for the punting duties? They're trying to upgrade the special teams. Blake Grupe is winning his competition with Charlie Smith at the place kicking role. The punter situation, we haven't heard too much from it, but that is something that we are looking at as well. Matt Hayball and Burnham are the 2 guys competing in that field. Now, also to talk about the fact that they did have a couple of DBs in Luke Gunderson and Jonathan Mendoza that's mentioned, a couple of linebackers there in Jared Bartlett and Keenan Pili. And then, of course, what I'm looking at is the tackles that we were looking at to see what's really going on, because the tackle position is obviously something that we have to kind of study upon, right? Let's look at this unofficial depth chart right here by Our Lads that shows the Saints' current backup lineman. There you see Josiah Rahim is now the left tackle according to the unofficial depth chart right here. We see Landon Young at the right tackle there, and you can see them kind of flip-flopping those guys. But Will Clapp at center. Dylan Runnants is competing with Trevor Penning for that backup position for the right guard position. They're competing. The left guard position. I think it's the right guard, right? So anyway, this is a situation that we know that there will be some competition there. Trevor Penning and Dylan Runduntz are competing. Easton Kilty, Kyle Hergel, Torricelli Simpkins III, Barry Wesley are also in the competition. Do the Saints feel like they can use some more help from an offensive standpoint in terms of backup linemen? You can see that they did bring in 2 guys to take a look at, and that's the ball down breakdown as well. So anyway, with that being said, let me get ready to get out on that. We're going to come back later on in the day and discuss all the things that's happening on this Wednesday stream. So shout out to our Patreon champions. We had a little technical issue, but that show should be up for you guys to view for our Patreon and YouTube membership family. That show is up with reaction to some of those interviews and news that we're covered. But we'll be back later on today, Thursday, to kind of discuss what's happening with the black and gold as well. So anyway, with that being said, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And if you're not a sub up to the Sports Coma, Big Q representing the mighty Who Dat Nation. I'm going to holler at y'all on the next one. Much love, peace, and Who Dat Take.